Good morning, grade ones. I'm back. I just want to start off by thanking you all for coming out yesterday to our Zoom meeting. I had so much fun with every single one of you. I hope you had fun as well. We missed Jace and Jamie, but we had an excellent turnout. So I was very happy. Okay, so now let's start with my joke. All right, what's the joke today? Okay, so what's the worst thing about throwing a party in space? What's the worst thing about throwing a party in space? What do you think? Because you have to plan it. Haha, because there are planets in space, and to throw a party, you must plan it for it to be fun. All right. Okay, let's do our date. Oh, and I forgot to get my helper today. Who should I get today? Let's get our Bumblebee. Bzz, Bumblebee. Okay, so today is Thursday, May the, what number is this? 21st, 2020. Yesterday was Wednesday, May the 20th, 2020. And tomorrow will be Friday, May the 22nd, 2020. And next Thursday, we have two birthdays. And it's going to be Paris's and Callie's birthday next Thursday. So that's exciting for them. Yesterday, we were at school for 155 days. What comes after 155? Louder, yell it out. You got it. 156. Is 156 an even or an odd number? I'll give you hints. Anything that ends in 0. The 2, 4, 6, or 8 is even. So is that even number? You bet that is an even Steven number. Okay. So I'm going to start off today by reading a story. So I'm going to read a story. The story that I'm going to read to you is called Giraffes Can't Dance. And it's written by Giles Andrea and Guy Parker Reese. Okay, so that's the author, and it was published by Scholastic. So Giraffes Can't Dance. Here we go. Hope you guys can see the pictures. Gerald was a tall giraffe, whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked, and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at his knees. Why do you think he buckled at his knees? What was wrong with his legs? I told us a little bit earlier. Now, every year in Africa, they hold that jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. Do you think he thinks he's bad or all the other animals think he's bad? Let's find out. The warthogs started waltzing and the rhinos rock and rolled. The lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold. The chimps all did a cha-cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely, and he walked toward the floor, but the lions saw him coming, and they soon began to roar. Why do you think the lions are roaring? Hey, look at clumsy Gerald, the animals all sneered. Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, you're so weird. Oh, now I wonder why the animals think he's clumsy and can't dance. Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. They're right, he thought. I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot. Uh-oh. So he crept off from the dance floor and he started walking home. He never felt so sad before, so sad and so alone. Do you think that was nice what the animals said to him? Do you think Gerald is a good dancer? Did the animals give him a chance to even dance? Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. The moon can be so beautiful, he whispered with a sigh. Excuse me, coughed a cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on, but sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song, right? Because Gerald's a bit different than the other animals, right? His legs are crooked, he's really tall, just needs to find a different song. Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that the lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing round. So, what's happening, boys and girls? Gerald's dancing, isn't he? He threw his arms out sideways and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leaped up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful his mouth was open wide. I am dancing, yes, I am dancing, I am dancing, Gerald cried. Then one by one each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on, watched him, quite entranced. They shouted, It's a miracle! We must be in a dream! Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen. How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how. But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. We all can dance, he said, when we find music that we love. I really like this story. So why do you think Mrs. Clark really likes this story? Why do you think the author wrote this story? What lesson does he want you to learn? Or what message would the author like to send to you? What do you think? Can you tell your mom or dad right now? Or your sibling, whoever's with you? Yes, there can be many interpretations from this story. I like this story because no matter how different you are, you need to accept those differences, right? And you can't stereotype, right? Just because Gerald was tall and had crooked legs, it didn't mean that he didn't know how to dance. But all his animal friends stereotyped him and said, oh, you can't dance because you have tall, skinny, crooked legs. It's just like saying that if you're not tall, then you can't play basketball. That's stereotyping. That doesn't mean a short person is not good at basketball. Or stereotyping might mean that just because you're a girl, it means you're not good at math. That is not true, right? So I like this story because Gerald, he showed all his friends that he can be a good dancer. He just had to believe in himself and find the right music. Okay, so what I want you to do today with this story is use these wonderful words that I taught you yesterday: the who, what, where, when, why, and how. I'd like you to choose 3 of those words, and I'd like you to ask a question about the book. For example, I might say, who was the main character? Okay, so write these questions in your journals. You don't have to answer them, just write the questions. You might say, why was Gerald so sad? You could ask, how was the problem solved in the story? You could say, when did the story take place? Where did the story take place? So those are just examples that you can choose or that you can come up with. I want you to choose 3 of those words and come up with 3 of your own questions. Okay, you don't have to answer the questions, just write them about the book. All right. So next, so that's the first thing I'd like you to do for your community booklet today. The only thing, you're doing math, so you're doing this sheet right here. It's called Tally Recycling in the School. I'd like you to do that really quickly. Let's just review some tallies, because in grade 1 you're expected to know tallies. So here is this one right here. Oh, I should have put number 1. Sorry, let's do that right now. Number 2, number 3, and number 4. So what number is showing here? Okay, so remember, this represents 5. So count with me. 5, 10, 15? No, Mrs. Clark did that wrong, didn't she? Okay, let's do it again. 5, 10, and these are ones, 11, 12. So that is 12. Okay, how many is this? Can you tell me? 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that is number 18. Those tallies are 18 tallies. What about this one? Let's count. These are all 5s, so count it by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, and 21. Excellent. And this one is super easy. How many do we have here? 3. Okay, so 3. So those are tallies. Remember those tallies. So this is asking you to look at the chart and then answer the following questions. Okay, so if you need help with the reading, you can ask a sibling or your mom or your dad. But I'm not going to go over this because I think you can do it all by yourself. There's a couple questions that you'll have to come up with the answers on your own. So, like for example, look at that why. Why do you think some classes are not recycling? So the answer is not given to you. So you're going to infer, why do you think some classes aren't recycling? Also, how can Tess get more classes to recycle? So there are some thinking questions here. And why is it important to recycle? So do that as well. The back page is only optional. So if you want it looking for a little extra work, you can make your own tally chart. But this is asking you to go for a walk around your community or a drive. So this is optional. Okay. Another thing I would love you to do is read these words to me. What does this say? May. Excellent. What does this say? Come. Good. What does this say? Get. May. And part. So you're not going to like this, but I want you to write a sentence in your journals for using each of these words. For example, if I was going to use parts, I could write, which part of the story would you like to read first? Okay. For made, I could say, I made a cake yesterday. For come, I can say, please come to my house today. For get, I could say, I will get a new bike as soon as I save enough money. For may, I could say, may I have a banana? Okay, so you're doing quite a bit of writing today, but I know you can do it. I believe in you. Believe in yourself, just like Gerald believed in himself. Okay, boys and girls, remember there's always your Lexia as well. Again, make sure your Lexia minutes are made up for this week. Okay, it's really important. That's your reading component. And that's it for now. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow, Friday. Have a wonderful day.